Hi, my name is Daniel, and today we are trying to interview someone who has lived in the States for a long time, and she's going to help us to understand more about the education system in the United States. This is an assignment from week 8 from Diverse Education Case Study Mini Ethnography. So thank you so much for accepting this invitation. And basically, I'm gonna ask you around 7 to 10 questions about your experience living in the States. First of all, we would like to know if you remember the very first day when you arrived to the States. Do you remember something about it? What was your impression about that new country, that new place?
Hello, my name is Michelle Moreno and I'm from Barranquilla, Colombia. I came to the United States when I was very young, so I didn't know much English. I did come to high school, so that helped a bit. But what I thought of this place was that it was very beautiful and full of opportunities, but very difficult since English was the primary language and I spoke Spanish. But come to look at it, it did again teach me various lessons, and I'm very glad for the opportunity to live and make new friends here in the United States.
Okay, thank you for answering this question. We would like to know more information. Please feel free not to mention like the name of the neighborhood, but we would like to know the places around your neighborhood or in that state. For example, could you describe some places you visited in that country?
Yes. So I live in the Suffolk area, but I did visit the city various times. Here in Suffolk County, not much diversity. It was primarily whites, which is why I love to visit Queens, New York City, because of the different Hispanic restaurants. There's people who spoke Spanish over there, so it was better to visit um, the city area than to stay home. But again, don't get me wrong. Suffolk did is a beautiful place, just more diversity in the city.
I know you are from Colombia, but you have excellent. Well, I know you are from Colombia, but you have been living in the States for a long time. And here in Colombia, we have a lot of holidays. What can you tell me about holidays in the United States? What did you used to do, and what was like your routine or activities in a holiday?
So holidays are not that different, I think. More so the weather. So in Colombia, Christmas is celebrated with sun and going outside, while here in the United States, it's cold. So people like to have hot chocolate and stay inside and, stay warm with blankets. Um, that's about it. It's that's one big difference in like holidays. We do celebrate Thanksgiving. I think that's something you don't celebrate in Colombia. Here it's a big festival where the family gets together and sits down and talks about how thankful we are about each other. Very interesting, but very welcoming and very nice to have like the family gathered during that time.
Now, talking about like your friends, your family, and how did you have any nickname? How did people used to call you back in the States? What were those nicknames they used to call you before?
So, yes, my friends all call me different names, nicknames. They call me Mimi, they call me Chelly. Very, very weird nicknames, but you tend to just go with it. And I love the new nicknames I get from my friends. It shows how much you like love each other.
Now, since we are talking about friendship and everything, let's imagine you would like to introduce yourself to a person there in the state. How did you do it? I mean, did you speak in English with this person, or did you start off speaking in Spanish? Or how would you know what language that person used to speak?
So it was very hard to communicate with everyone here at first since I only spoke Spanish. If they looked like they spoke English, I would say hi and try my best, but I sounded like Sofia Vergara, so it was pretty funny at times, but I tried to talk to only people who spoke Spanish.
Okay, now let's talk. We would like to know more about the academic field or experiences that you had in the States. So here in Colombia, we have different names for a teacher. We can call a teacher profe. Yeah, most of the times we say profe to a teacher. How did you used to call teachers back in high school?
So here in the United States, for a female teacher, you would call her Miss her last name. So if it was Miss Lopez, Miss Coveñas, Miss Martinez. If it was Mr., again, it would be Mr. Martinez, Mr. Lopez. You could not call them by their name. You cannot say teacher. You would have to say Miss or Mr. and their last name.
By the way, uh, speaking about teachers, could you tell us, uh, did you know English when you arrived to the States, or did you learn English or did you know English when you started high school? Did they have like a program for those students who didn't speak English? And how was that experience?
So coming to the United States, I did not know any English. I only spoke Spanish, and I learned English through high school. It was very difficult. I also learned it through friends and my job, and now I speak English perfectly.
Could you describe your weekly schedule or routine at school? So here, as you know, we have different subjects, and some schools in Colombia they offer or they have like a restaurant for people to go to eat or a cafeteria. How was your weekly routine in high school?
High school is very different from Colombia. I noticed when people said period, in Colombia it is divided into four different times. Four different like times during the year. That's what you call period. Here in high school, a period is divided in throughout the day. So first period would be one class, second period would be another class. It would be different hours. That was a period, very different from Colombia. Also, in Colombia, we would stay in a classroom, and the professors would switch off and come to us. But here in the United States, we would walk um, to the teachers. We had to walk to their classrooms to learn the different subjects. Um, High school was very different. We could not just walk off of campus. We would have to stay in the cafeteria. We could not leave the school grounds. So my whole day was spent in the same building, just different parts of the building. I could not just leave and then come back to school.
So, thank you so much for the time you are giving us in order to know more information about the education system in the state. This is my last question. And did you feel part of the classroom? Did you feel part of the group? Like, did you feel that teachers treated students the same, or there was certain, we can say, rejection, maybe because you were a Latina, and did you have like partners or classmates from different race. How was that situation? Did you really feel part of the classroom indeed?
Um, that's a good question. So obviously there is discrimination everywhere, um, but there wasn't as much discrimination about my race or where I came from, but more so about my language, because they would sometimes make fun of me not understanding or me not being able to pronounce my words. But like I said, there are programs in the schools where they help the kids who only speak a certain language to slowly start speaking English. That classroom tended to stick together, so that's where I made most of my friends because we had something in common. It was harder to make friends with the other people until I started speaking more English, and then I got to talk to them and do things with them. The teachers were very nice. They would include me in every activity. They would, if I needed help, they would tell me to come to them after school, many after school clubs. There was a lot of races, so in my high school more so than other high schools, so I didn't have any racism in that aspect. But obviously, if you go to more of the whiter areas, you would see a bit more of the racism, but not in my not my high school. It was very diverse, but it was how do you say, anxious time at the beginning, but come to realize that it was an awesome experience because I learned how to speak English and I learned a lot during my time in high school. Um, Thank you again for this interview, and I hope that it helped you understand the education system here in the United States.